Tonight's show, I'm talking about, is there an objective reality? Short answer, yes. But I'll get into depth of why I'm posing the question, but I'm also answering all your questions with live readings coming up right now.
Does it look like Devin or David?
David is his name. It's been so spot on.
And I don't know if you put it in the side of your end table or not. You like to summon your end table. It's too.
My God, you're crazy.
Yeah, I don't know if she showed me flowers. Like relay them or redo them. These purple flowers.
Oh my God, Scott, the flowers are right there. My orchids are purple. They completely are dead.
Yeah.
Did you even... You nailed everything, every single thing. Listen, everyone, this guy...
There needs to be a connection with like a Native American ancestry. And they're showing me a turquoise stone. Yes.
I just went to a Native American dance class and I wore this stone.
Tell me something that he told you that came true.
Everything he's predicted has come true.
I just don't see it.
Who doesn't have cancer?
It's very possible.
Tamara's psychic who first questioned Brooke's cancer.
Scott Cruz.
Oh, there you won! You won!
You better question yourself. We're here to bring enlightenment, not confusion.
You might encounter negative aspects of self, but that's a freeing experience.
Because then they start realizing that they can't think outside the box. And I say, if you can't think outside the box, then who's the stupid one here?
We've all co-created this matrix. So if you don't like the matrix, that's you saying that you don't like your own reality, what you're creating for yourself. So we're all equal participants of the creation of this matrix. I don't just come on here and talk repeat I'm living it.
In harmony with nature.
Happy Thursday Night Live, beautiful souls. Welcome to the Cruisyverse. How's your week been? How y'all hanging in there? Huh? Got some rain here in Nevada, so enjoying the rain and the sound of the rain. Very relaxing, very peaceful. I love that. And it's very refreshing and healing hearing the water. So it's been an interesting month, year, however you want to call it. It took us about 2 to 3 months to feel like 2025 was even here. And then once it arrived, then it's like, oh my gosh, summer chaotic and all this great stuff. So, those who've missed last week's episode, please go and check it out. Done all the signs about Saturn's retrograde, its effects on all signs and what to expect up until November. So check that out if you haven't. And so, yeah, this week, primarily for myself, I guess I'll shoot the shit, with myself, with you guys. I've gone through a lot of changes as far as feeling like how I want to do things differently, how I want to express myself, how I want to use my voice in different ways too. And I think we're going to talk a lot about patience in the collective read. So those of you who are new, I will start with the collective read, but I really feel that there's going to be a lot of us needing to speak up and being, there's going to be a lot of chaos coming in the next week or so, and we'll get this in the collective read. And I'm just finding ways that I want to stand up against things, but in the right way. But at the same time, like I don't really care to, fuel divisive energy with politics and, and social media. So there's been a lot of like introspection done for me. So how many of you guys have been feeling the same thing about like, hey, I want to do what I'm doing in a different way, or I find another context of how to express my passion and voice? How many of y'all have been feeling that this past week or so? And which is an alignment to what I was saying about kind of with, Libra season coming in, about creating that new identity. So as I was forecasting it, I'm like, oh, I kind of see myself feeling that too during my forecast. So I'm sure a lot of you guys have been feeling that. So we'll see what's going on in the collective read. But before we do, and the topic today is there an objective reality? And, a lot of people who are in the creating reality scenes, and I followed Bashar, channeled by Daryl Anka for so many years, saw him live, many times. And, as part of that creating reality community, that I always would question, like, are people in my life actually real? Is this all my creation? And so I'll get into that aspect. The short answer is yes, there is an objective reality, but we'll see how we coincide with all that as well, and how we can actually, have our subjective mix and match with the collective. So we're actually filling the soul, but also helping the collective as well, and then having that external mirroring validation and so forth. So we'll get into depths about that too. But first, let's see who's Chatty Cathy in the room as I bring up these overlays. And no, we're not on the final thoughts. We're on welcome. Obviously, I didn't, since my last show, I didn't alter this. So we're coming in fresh, guys, coming fresh, live and raw. All right, welcome aboard. All right, let's use Chatty Cathy in the room here. We have Jennifer Cruz, David Cruz, my makers. Welcome. Good to see you guys as well. Good to see you guys. You're my parents, of course. Get that out of the eye shot. Our wonderful Maud Nina's in the room. She's feeling better. So she's a little under the weather. So she's been recovering and healing. So send her some wonderful love right now. Okay. So, and go easy on her. Okay. So it is $15 for a card pull, $20 for one question, $30 for two questions, $40 for a live video with me. The PayPal and Venmo links are in the description below. And our wonderful Maud Nina will help you if you have any questions about doing so. Get them in now, because when I get to live readings, I'm going to shut them down tonight, because I've been having a little bit of neck pain, neck achy wakies. So, Brenda Zwett, good to see you. Ali Taylor, good to see you as well. James Porterfield, my brother from another Mister, good to see you. Let's put you up here so we can give you some acknowledgement. To Cruzy fam, hope you're all doing fantastic. I'm breaking free from the old me into who I was, always meant to be. Exactly. Ask for a message from my mom and my guides angels to come through songs. And yes, I mean, Spirit can come through so many different aspects. Like, it's crazy. So be open to how Spirit wants to communicate with you. And I always tell people who are like skeptical or don't believe in this realm, I said, just like test it. Tell you, do this, show me this. And so many people are afraid, even though they're skeptic, they're kind of afraid if something were to show up that it freaked them out. So allow the different aspects of such. And that's right, Iggy, we have the Spaceship 31 Atlas, right? Conjuncting Mars and Scorpio today as of 2 hours ago. Conjunct Sun and Moon on 10/21, Libra new moon. And the perihelion on 10/29. So thank you, Iggy, for that. Iggy, I gotta bring you back on to bring more of the depth of astrology, the astrological. I'm the astrology newbie with all that. I'm psychic, so I do the psychic mediumship, but I know bits and pieces of astrology. So Iggy, we'll have to have you come on and maybe next week and talk again more in depth about the 3-1 Atlas. And all that, and what does that mean, and get your perspective, because there's very few astrologers that I know that go into depth. Leo King, Christopher Tucky, obviously, and Iggy. Iggy is another aqua like me, so we're very refined into how we see details. So next week, Iggy, if you're around, maybe you can come on. We can go into depth with that as a little feature for you. Ketra's Oracle Magic, good to see you as well. Lisa Cruz, my sister from the same Mista, good to see you as well. Rashida, good to see you as well. Welcome aboard. And Tommy Garassi, hello. Chris Strickland, good to see you. Caroline Catton, hello. Just going down here real quick. Noel Way, my sister from another Mista, good to see you as well, gorgeous. As well as Horses Trigger Hope, good to see you as well. And Darby Mabry, and all those who are watching, I cannot see. I can always see who's chatting in the room. So welcome aboard. You have your privacy, thank God. But I can still smell you from here energetically. I can smell your presences. So, all right, let's get into this collective read. Let's shuffle these cards. Let's see what they want to say for the week. Moving forward, I usually like to do week to week. Sometimes it's kind of the overarching energy of what we need to be focusing on. So we'll see what's going on here. And then we'll get into the live readings, or actually get into the topic and then the live readings. Topic will be quick. Just want to kind of throw it out there. I spend time in the readings here. Okay. All right. Jesus, and the cards are falling all over the place. Is that you, Noelle? Noelle did that. I know she did that. Cards snapped in half and fell over the place. Thanks, Noelle. She always does that. Noelle watches. She'll do something to where she'll say, drop a card, fold a card, and they all fall down, just like again. So, Noelle, I got you for doing that. All right. All right. Let's see here. Just shuffling the board. I like these cards already. Wow. Okay. Interesting. I wonder how. Let me tap in really quick. Give me a couple seconds. Okay. Patience, guys. What is patience? We hear patience all the time. Patience all about being like, oh, you got to wait for things and just be patient, be patient, be patient. I'm repetitive about patience when it comes to about nurturing and being a nurturer. Now, I did a video about love is about acceptance and nurturing. And because we're in 2025 in our current climate, someone that had argued to me saying that, well, you're an idiot because you shouldn't be nurturing pedophiles and rapists and all that stuff. It's like, well, duh, we learned that in like 5th grade, right? So I got to be clear here, because certain people who are very simple-minded could rub into two brain cells together. They don't understand how to process. But when it comes to nurturing, it doesn't mean we have to nurture everybody or everything either. And a lot of times when people saying, but taking the high road. So, and sometimes nurturing and doing things in a way that's, I would say, spiritual. I'm just trying to find a different word, but in a spiritual way means that you need to step up and call things out too. It doesn't always mean that being spiritual means that we take a back seat, and means that patience that you have to tolerate. Patience doesn't mean that you're waiting. Patience doesn't mean that you're just kind of like allowing someone to be overtly chaotic, and you're just like, I'm being patient, okay. Because we have to identify what patience really means and how we're applying that in a way that's very beneficial. Because one, we should be patient with ourselves and our growth evolution. We should not be beating ourselves up if we're learning lessons or trying to figure something out. We should not beat ourselves up. Be patient and nurture ourselves through the process. That's where we should apply the patience. When it comes to other people, there's different levels of this, because, we can be patient and someone might not know something, or someone's being erratic in their behavior. Saying, just be patient, nurture, and calm them down. That may work. But sometimes calling things out may work even better. And so we're called now, especially with the chaos that might be unfolding next week with our collective and people using their voices, but saying things or just like letting it loose. It's going to call for people to call. It's going to call for people to call things out and to put things in its place. You should have your patience when doing so as well, and not kind of flying off the handle. We're going to need patience this, week ahead going forward, because a lot of people are going to feel like they have a right to say what they want to say, even if it's hurtful, even if it's, telling someone how they feel. And so I came across this with some comments on Serious Joy platform of misconstruing what I was saying and turned it to something negative. And I stood up and said, I'm not allowing you to do this. Grow up. And so many people could say, well, you should just let it go, take the high road. It's like, no, we're in a climate now that we have to address. We cannot let these energies fester, because this is where we lose patience, because we're tolerating so much. We're turning the blind eye. We're trying to shut it off, but it's still festering, the fact that this is going on. And this is why things are happening in our world the way they're happening, right? Because we do live in an objective reality, where we have all these subjective little realities coming and mingling that's creating this collective reality, subjective reality. So there are things that we're going to have to stand up to and use our voice on. And I'm in the mode where I'm calling it out, especially people who are in a spiritual platform, or people who are actually pretending to be spiritual, clutching to politics, use politics as a way to misconstrue what someone's saying, to use it as a counter narrative to fight with someone. I'm not going to tolerate that. I will call you a child and to grow up. I will do that, because that is what we need to be doing now, is growing up and understanding we got to stop being patient with the nonsense. We have to understand how to handle the nonsense, because it's these little things that we find, that we run into, that we are patient with, and we tolerate with this nonsense, that slows us down in our own personal evolution. That slows us down. And so what we should be doing now is allowing ourselves to remove those anchors and allow ourselves to confront, move on, let it go, because if we're standing up for our voice and what we truly feel and are addressing those situations, whatever they may be, then you'll understand how to be confident in other areas in your life too. Because confidence is just being comfortable with your voice, being comfortable with who you are. The more comfortable you are with something, the more confident you become, and that creates progression and movement. That allows things to pick up a pace. That allows things to redirect in a way that's more beneficial to you, but without question or reservation. And so we're going to be called now, a lot of us in the spiritual community, to call things out, to call out the behavior that is not appropriate in our communities. And so, it's not the time now to sit back, and also not so much with other people, within your personal lives too. So, with the Eight of Wands that came up, it's all about movement, right? It's all about, success and movement. And we're saying that when you understand where you're being patient in the ways that benefit you and the ways that are not benefiting you, and you stop allowing yourself to be patient for some nonsense, then you can redirect and fill that space with the energy that's actually beneficial or true to where you really want to be. And that will kind of enlighten the intellect within you to be like, oh, I can see things differently. Oh, I feel the intuition, go this way, right? With the Fool card, new beginning. Creating a new paradigm, creating a new version for yourself, a new rhythm. So many people think like a new version means they have to start a new career, or a new version means that you have to start something new, or do something completely different what you're doing. We're saying sometimes the new energy, new paradigm means you're doing things that you're already doing differently. You're waking up differently. You're understanding your participation, how you've been doing things may have been in a very robotic sort of way, very mundane sort of way. So probably refreshing your participation in the things that you're already doing now could bring a whole new different aspect of life and a new cycle, a new chapter with the Wheel of Fortune card. And so a lot of times we resolve a lot of things from our past, but we don't change the behaviors that allows us to have a new chapter. So we're like, yeah, I've come to terms with the grief. I was patient. I was nurturing my grief, my loss. But however, the patterns I'm doing is exactly the same from the grief mode. So sometimes we have to be a little more conscious of how to rewire our behavior and do something a little differently to alter the newer energy, the new rhythm, the new lessons that we've had within ourselves that we haven't fully resurrected. Right? And so that's what you should ask yourselves. Do I feel like I'm on autopilot? Do I feel like I'm in a rhythm? Am I still behaving and do my actions the same way I was doing when I was in grief mode? And many people are going to say, yes, I'm still doing the same thing. Same timeline, same rhythm, same everything. And so that's when you just make these slight little changes, because these slight little changes in your reality, and this is where the patience comes in. You be patient doing these slight little changes. Perhaps instead of going to, when you go to the grocery store, maybe go to a farmer's market, meet new people. Or if you're showering, I always use this example all the time too. Maybe put some good music on while you're showering to bring up the mood or energy. It's about being conscious and nurturing your life in ways that are like these small little details, but as a whole, it completely shifts the version of your reality. And when you take control of your subjective reality in that way, then you start being more, I would say, not sensitive in the sense of that you can't handle it, but more aware of the collective reality. What's going on in the objective reality? And then you'll start finding your place and understanding or you'll find it, but if you don't find it, you'll start questioning yourselves of how can I participate and what is my place in the objective? And like I've always said before, it could be like maybe like you do your job as a barista a little differently. Maybe you go for that walk a little differently. You talk to people a little differently. So it's understanding the levels of how you're participating, because we put so much biting the bullet energy and so much things in our world, and just like I'm not going to respond to it. We do it so much that we end up being very, I would say, in contempt of ourselves, to where it strips us of the fuel and the energy that we need to put it into ourselves. So that does not mean we shouldn't shut things off. We should. But when things come up in our lives, we also need to address it too. And so I'm warning y'all, I will address nonsensical behavior. I've been doing it very vocal and bluntly on the platforms that I am on, because I'm not going to tolerate in a spiritual platform people using politics as a way to divide or construe messages because it doesn't fit their narrative. I'm not going to have it. I will call you out. And I think more people in the spiritual communities need to do that in a way to set the tone. Is our job to set the tone. Is our job, if you want to lead, if you want to be an influence, to set the tone. It doesn't mean you have to yell at people, but it means you might have to put things in its place. You might have to redirect certain things. We're called to do that now. But first, how are you doing in your individual lives? And so the Four of Wands for me coming up in this position is really talking about foundation, because the Four of Wands is my home card, but it's really talking about foundation. Start with your foundation. What are you doing? Where are you applying? Like I said previously, where are you putting the patience and nurturing into yourself? Where are you doing with that? Because once you understand this, that the Three of Pentacles means there's a lot of more connection with community. So doing this next week ahead, we start understanding how to use our voice, set the tone on things, and be patient with ourselves. We will find new groups of people that align with our perspectives, our energy, our modality. We'll almost attract that because we're actually vibrating in our own unique, personalized essence. We're being vibrant in that sense. We'll attract it. And not only that, your perspective will open to be able to encode it and decode it in reality. So, and you'll be able to see it for yourselves, right? So whatever you're doing right now, I want you to look around and actually be conscious and ask yourself, look at your environment right now and say, how am I participating in my environment? Am I participating in my environment? Look at your home and say to yourself, how am I participating in putting and showing up for my home? Is it dirty? Is it messy? Is it chaotic? How am I participating? Am I even participating at all? With the relationship, if you're sitting next to a partner, look at yourself, say, what is my role within how I should participate with my partner? Do you even know? And if you don't, you better do so than tolerating people around you and not putting the emphasis and patience and nurturing into your relationship or your career. How are you showing up? Are you showing up with the role that you want to show up with your career? Or are you showing up for yourself, the role in your life you want to show up on the grander scale? It's good to ponder these questions right now. And the more in tune you become to that knowing of such, then you won't let anything trample it or take it down. See, that's a subjective reality. We talk about this. That's a subjective reality. Subjective reality is all about what we need first. So about how we see things, understanding our foundation of core beliefs and how we wish to express it. That's the subjective reality that we need to be emphasizing first. But it doesn't end at subjective reality. I'm still bad with my banners. It's supposed to say collective reading here. A little late on that. But asking yourselves, and understanding what your subjective foundation is, your subjective reality, we need to understand how that coincides with the objective, the collective. And if you're all about yourself all the time, you'll die an unhappy person. If you're always doing things for yourself, or you're staying in your funk, or you're not actually allowing the world to reap the benefits of your persona, of your skill set, your talents, whatever it may be, then you'll die an unhappy person, and you'll look back on your life in regret that you didn't express more. So it doesn't just end at your own subjective reality about how things are going in your own subject, how you see things, what you believe things do. It's about how can I take this next step of my subjective reality and the foundation I've created, and how does it contribute to the collective and the objective reality? Because there is an objective reality. There are trees. We all see the sky is blue, most of us, right? There's an objectivity that we have and an objective reality that we participate in. There are other souls that are also creating and fueling the karmic paths that we all have individually that are coming together to create this collective unified reality. So everything we're experiencing in our world today is a reflection of all our karmic resolves and unresolves and things that need to be resolved now, collectively, individually and collectively. So we all are responsible for what the state of the world is on the spiritual level based on what we're doing or not doing collectively and subjectively. So ask yourselves, what is your participation? Doesn't mean you run for office. Doesn't mean that you can work in politics. It means how you contributing to that in your own personal life. Because I always say on the little scale, sometimes that person who's miserable because whatever's going on in the news or whatever's going on in their life or their relationship takes out one person just to smile and say hello, and it changes the world, changes their life. It opens them up, right? The littlest ways. So we all we're all part of this Rubik's Cube of energy to where we have our own unique voices that participates in reality to help the gears to flow and to turn better. All right. And how you're showing up for your life now? Are you participating in the drama and the gossip, the gossip and drama? How are you participating? So we need to be more self-reflective on that and understand what your purpose is when you ask yourself, how can you contribute to the collective and where do you sit in the objective reality? And that brings a full complete balance and moving forward with all of that. So, because we came here for a reason, we came here to evolve, but we also came here once we evolved to understand how it can be reflected in the external world too. So, and the more solid you become in your subjective, self, your subjective reality, the more you'll be more in tune and objective to see how everybody else's subjective realities are. You'll be more understanding, less triggered. And when I say triggered, people just think when someone stands up and is bold that's triggered. Let me kind of clarify for certain people that don't get it out there, that when someone stands up to put you in your place or put someone in their place, that's not triggered. That's someone using their zeal to stand up for what is right and to correct bad behavior. Okay? So I want to be very clear about this. And so there's a lot of you that have it within you to stand up and call out what is right and do so. A lot of people say, I don't want to start any fires. Well, the fires have been burning, guys. And they're getting worse because people are just not saying anything. I don't want to get involved, but that's exactly why we're at right now. That's where we're at with politics, right? Two wings of a shitty bird. Okay? We need a new bird. So now it's time to understand, where am I applying my nurturing? Where am I applying my patience? And so a lot of that patience should be applied back into the self, back into, taking care of you and allowing yourselves to exhale in life, not just getting in a constant state of inhale just because you don't want to upset anybody. I don't want to upset. Well, who's that person that you don't want to upset? And why are you sacrificing your emotions and well-being just to pacify some bitchy person or some person that just needs to understand how the collective objective reality really functions? Because too many people are stuck in their own subjective realities. They think that has to be the whole collective, and that if the collective is not matching with their subjective, then they're going to bitch and complain. Just think how twisted that thinking is. We need to be blending and find our relation to the collective reality, not the other way around. And so many people are out there doing the other way around, which is mind-boggling what's going on. So this week ahead is important that you guys use your voices now. It should be a lot easier for you guys to use your voices the next coming few weeks, is because you guys have been working on your foundation, been working on your new voice, your new perspective on things. So own it. Push yourself to speak up a little bit, not to create drama, but just to put things in its place and to share a little bit of enlightenment to people. Okay? So that's kind of a blending of the two, of kind of the live readings and also the topic of, is there an objective reality? Yes. Yes, and the objective reality is a result of our subjective realities. And the divide in our objective reality is a reflection of our ego that has been going on for several decades. People focusing on themselves. Look at me. I need the likes and give me attention. And oh, look at me. All that energy is why we're so divided, because everyone's about me, me, me. And you see, I thought that was over in the Bush era. But somehow now, or in the Trump era, it's still me, me, me energy that people are doing. And that's why there's a divide. And so, whatever era it is, it's a reflection of what's going on now. And so y'all can defend your politicians and keep your stick up your behinds and start talking about and defending a politician, why they are or not good. They're just pawns in our reality. Do you understand? These politicians are there because we karmically put them there for whatever reason, good and bad. So the minute you start defending a politician, try to, speak for someone you don't know versus people you do know and the person that you are, you're lost. You're fragmented. Oh, but Trump is this, and he's good this, or Biden is this, and he's defending. I'm sorry, whoever I vote for, I'm going to hold them even more accountable than I would someone I didn't vote for. But I'm still the same either way because they're still leading the country. So whoever I vote for, I'm going to be even more critical of someone I voted for because I put them there. They better do a better job. I better hold them to a higher standard. But no, for some reason, this day and age, it's like, no, they're just going to dismiss everything with our politicians. And then wonder why there's divide, and you have to mold to my perspective. Do you see why we're in the state we're in? We are creating this. And so for someone like me, when I see that, I'm going to stand up against it. And especially when they try to lump what I say into that, it's not going to happen for me. Not going to happen. So I will call you out. I don't care where you're on Serious Joy, my platform. I don't care where you're at. Prepare for comment if you're going to start twisting that shit. And I will keep doing that because I think that's what's going to help change this energy, at least snap people out of that goddamn haze that people are in. It's having a voice that's not going to tolerate, that's not going to allow someone to manipulate their voice. And that's going on a lot. I see it a lot of other channels, people just dumping. And they wonder why are we fragmented? Well, it's your creation. But a lot of us who are trying to do the work to defragment and to put things back together are, we're not going to be nice anymore. I will say this. And so, and I think now it's time that we be loud and more intentional. And so a lot of you guys are very well intended here in the room. And sometimes you feel like you got to say something. You should. This is different times now. It's not 2010 where, there's a troll on the internet that's just like being stupid. This is different. The trolls are actually real people, and what's really actually affecting our society right now is real people actually speaking up and using their voices in a very negative, chaotic way, right? And so we have to do something to start carving out and deterring that energy in our society. However way you can do it, and that's the issue. No one's thinking collective. Everyone's thinking subjective. Well, my religion says so. My manifestation course says so. My trauma says so. It's like, well, the collective doesn't care about your religion. The collective doesn't care about your manifestation course, and collective doesn't care about your fucking trauma. Right? So, it's the age of Aquarius, guys. I've been loud and clear about this. Okay? And y'all can be up in the clouds about like, high vibration, all that stuff. High vibration and deterring and and putting your head in the sand is not high vibe. It's delusion. It's also allowing yourself to be very disconnected and I'm trying to find the right word I want to use for that, by the way, when you're just that shut down and deluded and thinking that, no, I'm just vibe. Some of y'all got to do that, though. There's a balance, too. Again, I have to clarify because people can take that the wrong way, saying like, you're supposed to take negative stuff. No, there's a time to shut things down, too, and understand your balance. There's a time that you also need to understand, like it is time to shut out the things that are, taking away from your well-being. So know the placing of things right now, guys. And so I think right now, like I always just tell people all the time, shut the news off. Right now, because the way things are going, I would say tune in to get an update and then keep it off the rest of the week. We got to be strong enough to understand what's going on with our collective. Because if we all take a step back and just let things go the way they're going right now, it's going to go to shit. So we got to do something. So be aware. Maybe once a week, just tune and get a quick update, and then, or maybe someone tells you in a quick update, just summarizes it with ChatGPT or something like that, just to understand what's going on, and then shut it off for the rest of the week. Because we're in important times right now, important times where we have to really understand how we're really influencing the world in a positive way or a negative way. We're all doing it. And we're not going to be happy if we get to a point we leave this planet and we look back at our lives saying, oh my God, I turned a blind eye to everything. What did I do? Right? So yeah, you don't want to be constantly infiltrated with the news and constantly infiltrated with all the theatrical drama and political drama, but you want to at least have an abstract, objective viewpoint what actually is going on. So that's why it's good to have ChatGPT summarize the news today, and it'll just be more objective, at least, instead of watching the stupid news, the theater, in that sense. So let me pull some oracle cards and get into the live readings. But this is kind of where we have to kind of put our headset. There's nothing overly philosophical today. But it's just, this is kind of a motivation of where you should put your headspace. Right now. And speaking up doesn't mean like I'm very direct. I've been doing it for a while, speaking up, and I've been having to because of my own traumas. But I feel like that's kind of my calling. Some of you it's not your calling to step up and correct some. It might be your calling to say, hey guys, can we redirect this? Or hey guys, perhaps that we should look at things differently. Hey guys, they're showing a little more of that love and compassion in a softer way. A lot of you guys are called to do it in that fashion. And there's other people like me who are called to be more direct and bold about it. It all needs to exist. Right? And so I think that, find your own voice in how you wish to do that. To bring change. And that was a change that came out of here. My oracle card is change. To bring change. And I mean, I can't even make this up. Patience. Which that's the whole thing is talking about patience, but understanding what patience really means. Patience it doesn't mean you just have to have patience altogether. It's like where are you applying your patience? And are you being patient for things that you shouldn't be patient on? And I think that's a great objective way to have. And that's where you really find your peace, guys. I mean, this is very simple. You find your peace when you understand that you're navigating. You're the one that's directing where you choose to put your energy in or not. And, we all have one thing in common, that we all don't agree with where the world is at right now. I can't think of anyone who says, oh yeah, it's where it should be going. I know psychically this is our karmic resolve, that things will be going better. I understand that, but I still have to participate, even though I know this is headed to a very positive direction because of our evolution and people waking up and seeing things differently. I know this, but I still got to participate in the process. There are too many psychics and mediums and intuitives out there. It's just like, oh, but they know it's going to be fine. So they feel like they don't have to participate because, oh, we're in a video game, or oh, we're here, or oh, we're just observers. Like, we're participating too. We didn't come here just to observe, we came to participate as well. Otherwise, if we wanted to observe, we would observe in spirit. And it's funny, this morning I had a couple Jehovah's Witnesses come to my door. It was raining, and I opened my door in between work, and they're like, hey, do you agree? Do you think that the war and the guns will stop and violence will stop? And I said, well, it depends. It can't just abruptly stop. It needs to have a momentum of such. I said, it's too divisive right now, but it's going to take some time. And he wants to go show me a psalm. I said, let me stop you right here. And I told him where I came from a perspective. I said, I don't believe that we just wish upon a star, pray to a deity, and all of a sudden things change. I believe we put out energy, and we put that energy in motion, that we have to show up and participate and understand what our karmic lessons are, what we're learning through this process is what I told this Jehovah's Witness. And they're like, okay. And I said, so you asked me a question. This is where I come from. I come from a spiritual place. So we're not on the same page. I believe we need to show up and participate and resolve karma. And quickly, okay, well, have a great day. No Jehovah's Witnessing on there. And this is a lot of the problem, that people in times of need like this rely on a religion, which is great to give hope, but just means we just don't sit back and do nothing either. So I would say this keep it very, very simple. I'm just seeing a lot of people finding their senses of detachment. Now is not the time to detach. Now it's time to connect. And it means that you connect with the passion that you've been wanting to do, a little business that you want to do that brings cheer or brings, value to people. Then you do that. Okay. All right. Any final cards before we get into these collective readings? Let me see here. I uploaded some things too. Actually, I'm gonna take a little break here, run my little commercial here, and I'll get to the readings because I don't have any for Nina, as I did last time. When Nina has a video, then we actually have time to take a breather and get these readings situated. But I'm gonna run a quick commercial. I'll be back in 2 minutes.
Scott Cruz is popularly known for his life-changing one-on-one readings to also guide in your soul ascension journey. With life readings, get insight into your relationships, career, health, trauma healings, past life regressions, and more. Want to connect with a loved one who's transitioned? Scott's mediumship session can be the gateway to you and your loved ones in spirit, bridging the gap between the physical and the spiritual realm. If you want to enhance your own psychic ability, Scott's Intuition Builder session can help expand your psychic and mediumship abilities. So sign on to scottcruzpm.com to book your own personal session today.
Okay, making sure I didn't end the session there. I've done it before it ended the live stream. Okay, let's get to these readings here. All right, so it was a simple message, simple read. Nothing overly philosophical, nothing complex. Just a way to kind of get yourself to like ponder like about this, about the patience. Are you playing patience? Are you being too patient? Things you shouldn't be, right? Are you using your voice? Are you standing up? What can you do? Will you feel good that you're doing something to help the collective, right? Something simple. If you do some charity work for the holiday or something, which I've been wanting to do badly. I think I'm going to do something for the holidays, help the need. I'm just feeling needing to do charitable work that way, not in my field. So some of that nature, we feel like you're doing something to bring that energy. That's what prayer should be. That's what prayer should be. Prayer should be like, I'm going to actually put good energy and help these people, put love out there. That's prayer. Just in like, oh, please, it's all right, but put it to action. All right. You got a question for Ashley. Ashley, yes. Do you see me passing all my tests these next few months to get my court reporting license? Okay. Those of you who watch me for a while know how I'm going to respond to this question, because I have to be clear about what's predictable, what's not predictable. We have free will, and along free will, there is something called randomness, right? There is randomness in reality. Otherwise, it'd be predicting lottery numbers, right? So this question is like saying to me, what time am I going to go to the grocery store tomorrow? Or what lane am I going to drive up tomorrow when I go to work? Which lane will I shift to? It's like, these are things that are not predictable, okay? So because you have free will, then who knows? But in these situations, I will read saying based on your current intellect, does it match a passing test? And if so, keep doing what you're doing, or if not. So that's what I'll say. Whether you pass or not on that moment of your day, that's not written in the stars. But let me see how prepared you are, or if there's anything missing currently that will prevent you from doing so. So, it's like 70%. I feel like you're 70% in alignment to passing. It's not 100%. Okay. So, which means is that I think that there's still something you might be missing, or some area that you're not spending too much focus on that will be an important part of the exams. Right. So it's reading like 70%, and not 70% of grade, but like 70% chance. So there's still 30% chance you won't pass them all. Right now you might do to pass maybe a few, and maybe one you don't pass. There's a specific area I don't know, because I don't know your industry and what the freaking courses are. But I feel like there's a part of you that needs to like refresh on something that you feel like you've maybe brushed off, or if you were to think about something that's not so certain to you. And I feel like if you did that, then you'll be paired. So it's like you're 70% there. In order for you to pass all of them, you have to be 100% there energetically, right? Or at least 95% there energetically. So right now you're about 75%. So once you kind of get to that understanding, or like learning that curve of whatever you feel like has been so uncertain, you kind of got refresh on that. Remember why you're doing this, right? Remember why, the excitement of why you want to learn these things, and let that be the excitement that's going to retain the information. So yeah. And so, I mean, either way, you'll get your license either way. So you'll definitely be in that space. You'll definitely be in that career. So I would just freshen up, because right now it's like 70-75%, like, yeah, you'll pass. It's still at 30-25%. It's like, she might not pass all, or come close to. All right. So I'll just freshen up. That's the best I can do in read. A yes or no answer about something of this nature is not predictable. Now, if you've taken the test, and I've told someone up before on my show before, 82, if you've taken a test, I can see somewhat where the grades are at. But it's like, again, I'm not reading a person, I'm reading an object, but I can read you and say you're about 75% there. Okay. Guys, I want you guys to understand what is predictable in life, what is not predictable, and what you do and do not have control over. Okay? I know it's an anxiety question, but I'm not here really in those questions to pacify anxiety. I'm here to give you as a psychic, I have to give you the actual data. On my mentorship level, then I will do like the consoling, motivation, all that great stuff. But for a psychic question, I have to give you the actual energy state. Otherwise, I'm not being a psychic. I'm just being pacifying somebody. And I can't do that in that space. Next question is for Alana. Feeling stuck and stagnant. What's next for me? Oh, these questions are so vague. Guys, I love you very much, but for questions, please be specific for these questions. I can do it, but this is like a whole session, the question. What's next for me? That's a whole 45-minute session worth of questions that needs to talk through. So for one question, you're not going to get a lot of that answer. So be specific on a question to help, so I can better help you for a live show. A question like that will be better for one-on-one. So I'm going to just give you a kind of really... whatever comes to mind, but there's a lot. So, but let me see something that would be a good catalyst in that sense, okay? Give me a second. The first thing I heard is redefining relationships. You're not having, there's no support in your life, right? And I feel like, especially collective messages for you, because I feel like you have people around you that are holding you back, not so much supporting moving forward, and you're entertaining people that are depriving in your life, right? And so there's a specific relationship that needs to be severed, or you haven't specifically severed a relationship that's still kind of holding you back. You're not being productive with yourself. You're being more productive in your mind about your relationships or how people are in your life or how to, you know what I'm saying? So you're not applying that to you. So I would say the first step of what is next for you is actually getting rid of relationships and people around you that are not supportive of you and start taking initiative to do what's best for you. That's the emotional part that needs to happen first. So I'm not going to sit here if you have to have an emotional change, then give you things to do because you don't know what to do. Right. And I get a lot of questions like that with people saying, I don't know what to do. A psychic will tell me what to do next. Not happening. Right. I will tell you what you need to do emotionally, because right now you're caught in an emotional depriving state. Oh yeah. Thanks, James, for the matter. Right. And so in the state you're at now, you have to understand who's around you and ask yourselves these important, necessary, fundamental questions. What am I doing? So you got to start with your passion, my love. Okay, so if you need more detail, that requires a live session, a long session. That's a question that's it's so complex. What's next for me? There's a whole shitload. You have decades of life left to live. But what I want you to understand is that you have to clear out the emotional space with the relationships that you have right now and get rid of this one particular relationship that I feel like you've been holding on to, either figuratively or energetically, that like you're just stuck. You're like not doing anything for yourself. So the stuck mode is that you're not being productive for you. You're allowing these energetic relationships to kind of pull from you. And that's the next step, clearing out relationships. So any more than that requires way more of a session, but for what's tend to be a very simple question, that's the best I can do for the time's sake. Thank you, Chris, for the little love. I appreciate that. That's awesome. Thank you. Who did I do next? Rashida, live video. Let me get you the link for that. Yeah, guys, I have to probably set the preface every time. These questions are meant to be like more specific, like what about this, what about that, and things that are actually predictable. I have to be clear. So I like when these circumstances come up with these questions so I can be clear about the type of questions asked so I can better help you on a live show. But again, it's a cheap question, like be more specific. So if you want a specific answer about something in that nature, otherwise the general questions require a full session. There's so much layers of things, so, okay, Rashida, are you there? Let me try to get this, my link. Okay. Copied. All right, Rashida, check your Venmo, and I'll do this next card pull as we wait for that, por favor. This Venmo app is like, I click on you, and it just like, I have to like not... There we go. Okay. Now I could do this. It's such a long, drawn out, so many clicks just to get to comment on your post. All right, Rashida. There's the link. All right. And then we have a card pull for Danny. for Donnie. Can we say Donnie? Okay. Carpool for Danny. Let's see on this. I'm warm with these lights. Do I look like I'm perspirating here a little bit? Yes, Nina, can you let people know that they have to, these questions have to be like a specific question, not like, what's in my future? Like that, that's not helpful. It'll be random. But to help with energy. Okay, I'm just doing carpool for Danny still. This little... Okay, this came out twice for you, Danny, so I know I kind of explain to you. And carpools are simple too, guys. They're simple. But, Danny, the first the Lovers card came in reverse. Then it came into this. You know what I mean? Actually, my name is Scott, AJ. Why does everyone call me Chris? Everyone's been calling me Chris for a long time, and oof, we need Aaron. But yes, AJ. It's Scott. I think my name's somewhere on the channel. Yeah, okay, but it's funny because I have so many Chris's around me, right? So many Christophers around me, and then I was been called Chris my whole life too growing up, so I think it's funny. But so I appreciate that, AJ, and appreciate you allowing me to be direct. But that was the first thing they were saying that it's holding you back. Okay, for Danny, you got the Lovers in reverse and then Lovers upright. So it came out twice, and the Two of the Pentacles. So what it feels like to me is I really feel like there's almost like a relationship comes anew, or a relationship that was upside down comes again, right, Danny? So it feels like there's some sort of balance that comes into your relationship sector. I'll keep it simple in that regard, right? And so a lot of that has to do with, it could be maybe you understood that maybe were imbalanced in a previous relationship or whatever the case is, and you realize, okay, I can find the balance, I can make this better. So I definitely do see that. You know, I definitely do see that. For sure. Okay. And so it might be a good time for you to get a relationship back in gear, or a relationship that comes, maybe you've been having issues that felt off balance, you find the balance. So it seems like a big positive direction for your romantic life. And if you feel like you've been deprived of one, then one comes in. So yeah. Okay. Does my Venmo say Chris? There's no way it says Chris. AJ, no way in hell it says Chris. I'm going to go check. No, it says Scott C. AJ, what the hell are you looking at over there? Look at it. AJ, it says Scott C. You see it? Mr. Mystical. Mr. Mystical. Anyways, I got the segment to sentiment, but thank you. But yeah, it's good that you are understanding that now personally. So I think it's good. Once you do, you might even start finding more movement, AJ, in your life. Because I felt there's like two people around you that like they kind of have to be at distance, and one specific relationship that needs to be completely severed. So you understand. But I feel that opening up for you in the long term. So if you want to know more after that, again, book a one-on-one, because I do want to make sure I can give you more clarity. And guys, understand, I don't get mad at you. I get mad because I can't help. I'm like, I can go say so much, and I get frustrated. I'm like, I can't in a little segment of a question. Because I love to be detailed. I love being detailed, and you gotta be in my space. You can't just throw general crap at people. But so I'm like, oh, I want to help, but like I can't because of this, and you know. So that's okay, AJ. People have been calling me Chris, right? I'm like, no, Scott. For a long time, I have so many Chris's around me. I work with Christopher, you know. So all right, we got Rashida here. I'm hot, guys. Do I look like I'm like oily and greasy? Okay. Let's add Rashida to the green room. Hi, my love. Give me a second so I get my earpieces on here. If I can hear. So you don't echo. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes. Give me one moment so we don't echo. Okay. I got you in my piece here. What's going on, love? The hair looks gorge.
Thank you.
So what's your question for me, my love? my favorite Leo.
Okay, of course my cat would choose this moment to start bugging me. Anyway, sorry. She's gone. Okay. You know how they get when it's like feeding time and just like, okay, you're gonna be annoyed until you actually feed me.
Yeah, I get that. I have 2 dogs.
Yeah.
Same way. Any animal when it comes to feeding time and nurture time and attention time, yeah, they're up your behind. I get it.
Yeah. Okay, so my gosh, yeah, it's so nice to see you.
Likewise, it's been some time, girl.
I know. This is like, you have no idea. My eyes are burning right now. I'm so tired. Like, I've literally had to prioritize, these hours I've had to prioritize. Because once I'm on, then I want to be interacting and I want to, all of that. But yeah, so, I always catch you on the replay though.
Okay, that's okay too. That's all right. Most people do anyways these days, especially since June, July. A lot of people have been kind of, so scattered and August, September doing their own thing. And so I'm like, hey, as long as they're catching it. But yeah, a lot of people have been doing that. So
yeah.
So what do you want me to read for you? I want to get the groove on.
Yeah. Okay. So I have 2 things and they're very specific.
Perfect. Good.
Actually, I'm very curious what your answers are going to be. Not
Sure.
answers, but what your feel is going to be. Okay.
Yeah.
So the first one, what was it? It was like I want to say probably a few weeks ago. About a few weeks ago, I had a dream, and in this dream, I was laying on my back, and as I was sleeping. And then I woke up in the dream, and it was as if I was waking up in, and for real. And I was literally in the exact same position as I was sleeping. Everything was around as it was.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, I felt like my body actually, and I've experienced sleep paralysis before. It was nothing like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing like that. My body started, or just like, almost like my lower, but it was like vibrating. And then it just kind of came up and I was like, whoa, literally, my voice even was vibrating as well. And it was just something I've never ever experienced in my life.
Yeah. Well, that's you're kind of more conscious of lucid dreaming, basically what happened. So you got like a glimpse of being lucid while you're dreaming, right? So that's what that was. So did you catch my replay of my dreams episode that I did?
I did, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
it's so funny. That was the one I wanted to jump on with because it actually happened the week prior to that.
Well, because the reason why I did that show is because I knew astrologically people were going to have a lot of vivid dreams. I mean, my partner and I have also been having like crazy dreams and where I'm not even sleeping as good because of them. So it's kind of part of the astrology right now. Now, your experience of having a lucid dream just also means that it's really like a call for, your guide's being repetitive right now. They're saying call for you to go deeper at your creativity. Like really go deeper with your creativity and allow yourself to access the different levels of consciousness that will evoke a lot of that extra creativity in yourself. Don't fear it. Right. And, being able to lucid dream is a very, very awesome ability to be able to have because you're understanding that there's no barrier with reality in a sense. That's the illusion is the barrier of reality. And so I want you to get more in the head space and spirit space and soul space when you're being creative and do what you're doing to understand there's no barrier between you and that level of, infinite creativity. So I want you to really understand that's kind of that to me, that's a natural side effect of how your soul's trying to morph. Right. And so it's not like it's like, oh, this is a lesson. Your soul's trying to morph and reach a higher level of dimensionality, more in tune to yourself, more aware of yourself. So boom, here's a side effect that you had a lucid dream. But a lot of this is also to understand to reach higher levels of creativity. That's the one thing your guides are telling me during that. The answer for you is like, you need to be more creative and reach deeper and higher for creativity. So in layman's terms, that you want to be more of a channel with creativity. Like think of it as you're channeling creativity.
Yeah.
you know? And so it's not so much the dream state or the dream experience that you have that is the key. It's the result of you trying to reach high levels of consciousness and remove the barrier between that soul creativity, soul expression, and the physical. It's trying to merge it. Right. And so that's really the importance of that. So, you know, you should be seeing, especially, I mean, if you haven't been seeing now, you should see rather shortly a higher, you know, receptivity of creativity, more inspiration. So that will, I think it starts slowly for you, but it will increase. Like we're just, boom, there's more of an explosion of this. You know, and so that I would definitely recommend and urge you to practice transcending meditation. You know, and meditation is not for everybody. I don't recommend it for everybody. It depends on where they're at in their experience. A lot of people just package, meditate. It's like, well, some people will be better talking themselves while they're washing the dishes than sitting for 15 minutes in meditation, right? So, but for you specifically, I feel that's. And I'm just saying to say this is specific for you is that I would try to maybe practice some transcending meditation.
Okay.
And in conjunction to that, take out your pad and start automatic writing during that experience.
Yes. Yeah. No, I've done that actually. Not the meditation part, but definitely the open writing / channeling. I've definitely done that.
Yeah, but do but do that with meditation first too. Like sit with intentional meditation, and then have that to like bring in. You know, do it in a different format where you're somewhat unconscious. I call it, you know, theta delta state. In between theta and delta state, where you're like you're aware, but you're still off, but you can still function. Try it in that context next now.
Okay.
You know, because I think that you'll. I feel like this is gonna be a huge like a dam busting for you. Which is funny because I've been feeling that for myself. Like I just feel like a dam is about to burst open in my life. And suppose that's part of my astrology in the next 4 months. I feel it with you too, but I'm like, but you're a Leo. Like us Leo and Aquas are somewhat running a similar parallel here, you know, with things, you know, because we're opposite fixed signs, but we're kind of like, we were like this, then we went like this. I don't know if that's space. We're like this, then we went like this to where now we're on each other's end of the spectrum, but we're kind of doing the similar things, you know, in a parallel in that sense with the Leos and Aqua energy. So, I think it's the same thing for you. You'll feel like this dam is burst open. So I would give it more attention, conscious attention to that. Not so much lucid dreaming, more so the fact that, there is no barrier. There's no barrier between my higher level of consciousness and what I'm perceiving physically.
Right. Yeah, I'm totally totally open to the dam bursting open. I'm all for it. Okay.
What's
Thank
the
you.
other?
And
what's the other? Yeah,
the other.
I'm so
So I have a very dear friend, and she actually asked me weeks ago to come on and ask this question. You want her name?
I don't need it. You could, first, just so I can address her first name is fine. I don't really need information. You just give me the question. Yeah, you know me. I don't like information.
No worries.
I'm like, don't feed the psychic.
Right, I know. I'm not going to feed you.
Feed the cats, right?
I know, right? So basically, from the very moment that we met, which was back in, I want to say 2017, 2018. It like instantly we felt not just the connection, but that we have known each other prior.
So question again?
To this. So is it true?
Okay, let me look at the dynamic.
God, I was getting around to that.
I know. Let me see. Especially live shows, I like people just ask the question because I don't want people to think, he's fed the information. It's like, I hate being fed the information.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
No, you don't apologize, my love. You're good. You're always good. Let me see. What is the connection? What's the first name of the individual?
Gail.
I'm sorry? Gail? Dale?
Gail. Yes, Gail.
With a G? Okay. It's interesting because it's interesting because The first thing that what I was seeing is there's a mother energy that she brings to the table that I felt that you were deprived of, and I feel like she kind of filled in this gap of nurturing from like a mother standpoint for me. That's what I was feeling. And I feel like a lot of that was almost like spirit kind of reminding you that whatever deprivations that you have from mom, there's other ways that you find this. You got other ways you can get this. There's other ways you can find this connection of motherhood and nurturing energy. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
So I think that that's what had a lot to do. And so I think the connection is kind of like dispersed a little bit, you know, and there's been like a little bit detour. That's kind of what karmic relationships are, or karmic connections. They're not always bad. Everyone thinks karmic means bad all the time. Like sometimes as a karmic connection comes in to help, to like show us love, to show us this great fuel. So yes, it is past life connection, meaning that this individual has been in other incarnations with you in that sense. Yes, that's why they came in and showed up and kind of made this impact in that way. But they were there to show you nurturing. Because the first thing, the first thing that spirit was telling me is like, it was just there to help you heal from mom.
You know, that's really interesting because just even based on what you were talking about with the general read or the collective read, I'm sorry, and then even on LOL, you know, I watch LOL too. So okay, she and I worked together, and then I left the company. So yeah, there was a bit of a split, but we've remained friends since then. And she is older. She is older than myself. But my mother was not the most warm individual. You know, like no I love yous, no hugs or anything like that growing up. And recently we actually kind of butted. Well, she was more butting my head. Based on this, you know, this Jimmy Kimmel stuff, and it was, you know, let's just say politics. I don't even want to go into the specifics.
Yeah, we're good. We hear it from everywhere. Yeah, but yeah, so it's a political discord. Yeah. Yeah, and you know, as we've kind of said before too, like my motto, a couple of mottos, it's been one, as you have said, you know, just I am objective and unaffected. Like I'm watching. I have my viewpoints, but I'm not screaming them. You know, like a lot of people are. And then also, I am busy every single day with being the change that I want to see in the world, and I know I'm doing it. So I don't have to prove shit. Excuse my language, but not You're fine.
really.
I curse all the time. Yeah.
I don't have to prove shit to nobody. You know?
You don't.
Like the proof is in my pudding, and my pudding is good.
That's
so,
right.
Yeah.
That's right. But, and that's the thing too, like, and I was saying before, is that, you know, sometimes telling people like, I don't owe you a damn thing and I don't care what your opinion is on me is enough. You know, to get people to understand, like, you can't manipulate me because of your politics. You can't manipulate me on guilt or because I don't see things like you. A lot of people tend to do that because you don't see things like them. They want to, you know, ream your personality or character. And I'm the first to say, oh, hell no, I will call that shit out. And we need to. You know, rising above it doesn't mean you sweep it on the rug. That's not rising above it. Rising above it means you're taking a stand. And Rising Above says, I'm not tolerating that energy. No, we're putting that in its place. We don't behave this way. And I will not subject myself to anything that's less than what's best for all humanity, yada, 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 right? So yeah, and I think that the woman that you're mentioning, the past life energy, is to show you more nurturing, to show you what a nurturing role really is. And it's a reminder, you know, it's almost like a signature frequency she brings in as a reminder. So I think it's kind of interesting that you afterwards, I mean, then the mother started bumping heads to show to you that there's always been a deprivation with nurturing with your mom. You know, and so, and this is where you are taking the stand in your life and saying like, no, I'm doing it for myself. Like, I don't need the nurturing from you. I'll do it for myself, like you stated. So that's the whole point. And I think this woman, Gail, kind of like unconsciously, indirectly initiated that energy for you.
Okay.
Because sometimes people just show up with a vibe and they may not be so overt to us, but like they're like a catalyst that really gets us to see things. And until we look back, like, you know what? I did kind of like give me that energy. So yeah, there's that undertone, spiritual undertone to that, you know. And she came in for a reason at the time.
So
you
is
needed
it just one way?
What do you mean?
Oh, I'm so sorry. So like, is there anything that, because I know that she would want to know this part too, is there anything that maybe is for her as well? Or is it more just what she...
you understand, like nurturing somebody too is also gives, when someone has someone to nurture, that does something, you know what I'm saying? So, absolutely. Like for example, like I've extended myself so much in my life where I've actually was getting taken advantage of, because I said when I was 15, I said I want to be the mentor I didn't have when I was growing up, right? My mentors sexually abused me, right? And I'm talking people outside my parents, because you have your parents, but then you just want a mentor or some, someone that can relate to you in that sense. And so I didn't have that. So I always had wanted, so I would just nurture people just for the sake. And so it was there for me, my walk, just to nurture people. And so then I have to set boundaries, and my getting older, realize people are taking advantage. And so there's always a part of the yin and yang of that exchange. It's always beneficial for both people. Right. And so yeah. And I think that if I were to tap into her consciousness, and I know we have to wrap it up soon, but because of other people, right? Yeah. I could talk to you for hours. It's my way of being my Virgo. But I really feel for her, you showed to her an openness that I feel like she'd never really experienced from somebody. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, and she might have verbalized this to you, but I feel like, most people tend to judge her or even maybe take advantage of her, but I feel like she's still a strong woman, but I feel like at the same time, you didn't do those things. You appreciated her, you showed light to her, and you didn't take advantage. You didn't need her for anything. So there's also that part I feel like that helped her, that you probably be like, well, I would never do those things. I'm like, yes, but she needs to understand that there's people that wouldn't do those things in her life. So yeah, there's a lot to these connections that really mold and help people to realize and recognize things and see life differently. Like I said before, just saying hi to somebody can change someone's life and trajectory, just because like, wow, someone actually was nice. Everybody's been such a dick to me. There is some people out there who are nice and kind and friendly. Little changes like this can just spark a whole change in someone's life. And I always say to myself, I want to be part of that mission. I want to be part of that energy, not an energy where I have a platform that continues a divide. Like certain people that are being revered for divisive energy about marginalizing people. Oh, but they're like, helping the lost youth. I'm like, but they're segregating the lost youth to fight about politics. And like, I'm not down with that. I don't care who it is, left or right. And if someone's going to condemn me for that, go fuck yourself. I don't care. I want what's best for everybody so we can all get along and accept ourselves or our differences. And so she felt that from you, that you accept her regardless. You didn't have an expectation about her.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I love her so much. I really love her from day one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, you should reach out to her again.
No. We're still in communication.
Perfect. But I'm saying, reach out to her in this energy. Just reach out now in this energy and just like tell her how much you appreciate her.
Yeah. No, like all the time. We're sending it, back and forth to each other. So, And I just, even with my mom, though, I love my mom to death. I love her so much, too. But, and I'm appreciative because it actually taught me what I wanted to not be like. and I feel like I'm leaving a much more loving, tender, strong, still or whatever legacy, even with my children, So
you see, so you see the connection I was saying between this woman coming in and how it's like rectifying the energy with mom and the nurturing that you need, right? And so, and this doesn't mean when we say like we were deprived of something from our parents, that parents who did a bad job, they might have done a good job, but didn't really give you specifically what you specifically needed. Right. And sometimes a child might need a certain thing a certain way. The parents like doing their best they can. And so it doesn't mean the parents were bad. Just like they didn't maybe missed that area that child needed, that the child grows up having a deprivation, and so those are things that are very important, in a sense for us to think about, when it comes to those circumstances. And so like you said, you still love your mom and, but there was aspects of nurturing that you needed that you didn't have. Not her fault, not to blame her, but saying, well, okay, if I need that, let's seek it in my life. Let's get that in my life now. And I think Gail's a indication for you to start really rebranding that for yourself. And again, the lucid dream that's coming that you just had, not too long ago is another aspect of reaching higher. You know, and that's a side effect for a lot of us. So this conversation is good because it's helping a lot of people watching, but it's just like, you know, we're evolving, we are ascending. And so the more you ascend, you're going to perceive higher levels of dimensionality. And some people might start connecting with ETs and interdimensional beings and all these other aspects. Those who weren't psychic will start becoming more psychic. So we are evolving. So if AI is evolving, don't forget, so is human consciousness. It's evolving with us too. People get so scared about what AI is doing. It's like, just think about what we can do now too. So I tell people, tap into your spiritual spaces. It's available to you. So this way you can dominate AI as that's evolving. So you're ascending too. And your creativity needs to extend too. And creativity is all about nurturing too. Like you really got to nurture the creativity. So you're in a great position of change for all of that, you know? So it's good. And so, yeah, you know, I get you to do it, but just tell Gail, hey, I was thinking about you. I love you so much. You're awesome. You know, she loves hearing that, you know, because I feel like you're a person that really appreciates her, that she feels safe with, that I don't feel like she's had a lot of that in her life.
Yeah, that's the way that you put it. Honestly, I've never thought about that before. Never. But, and I'm so happy that, that was brought up in that way. Yeah.
Well, again, we're here to give we're here to give you perspective from spirit, because that's what we're spirit first. We're soul first. Right. And so that's why things that when we understand where it's deriving from the soul, the source of the soul, forget about it. Then we're good. Then everything makes sense. Nothing's random. You know. Right. So, but it's good to see you, my love. I can talk to you forever, of course, as you know. But there's people that gotta get their questions too. But you are amazing, gorgeous. I love you so much. And
so are you. I love you too. Thank you so much.
I don't mean this as be condescending, but I'm very proud of you, right?
And I received that.
Yeah, because that could sound condescending. Like I don't mean it that way. I'm just proud of you in the sense of like you've been doing so much good introspective work that I think that, you know, when we had our first session, when I first met you, it was very fragmented and you weren't so focused on the self-love as you should have been. You were focused on everybody else's love, right? And so love everybody else and show for everybody else that you've come a long ways. So I'm very happy for you. You're rocking it, girl.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that acknowledgement too means a lot because I have been putting in the work. So
good. And it's not just words. You know me, I don't blow smoke up people's asses. I'm not here to do that. I'm here to just read it how it is. And so good for you, girl. I'm happy for you. All right.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Love you. Have a wonderful rest of your night, love, and keep me posted, okay?
Thank you. I will. All right, hon. Take care.
Ciao. Good night.
Bye.
Lovely Rashida, as we all love Rashida. And guys, see, take her example. Let her be an inspiration too, and understanding that, you know, it's important for us to understand everything that comes in our lives happens for a reason. There's a reason. There's a meaning. And I don't want to just say reason. There's a meaning behind everything. And as long as we're willing to understand and extract the meanings, we'll always be 10 steps ahead of everybody else in a sense. Not to be arrogant about it, but we're more 10 steps as far as being more insightful and how we're evolving. So thanks for leading and being vulnerable with that too, Rashida. I appreciate that. Okay, back to the questions. We have wonderful. We did Alana. We have Mandy. Question. I have a friend named Jane. I would like to know if we knew each other past life. Ketra. Okay. It's funny. We just had a question like that. Interesting. Let's see. Jane, what is Jane? You know what's funny, Ketra? This is gonna laugh. Not always are genders always parallel to incarnations, meaning that, you know, I've been male in a lot of my incarnations, which is odd. Sometimes we do stick with the same gender because I don't know why we do that. But I've seemed to have a lot of male past incarnations. But sometimes I change. But for Jane is similar to what I was just talking about with Gail, with Rashida. Jane was a mother in a past life with you. So I feel like it's interesting because I feel you kind of nurturing Jane too. There's a cycle of nurturing with Jane, okay? And you're going to be put in a position where you got to help her or mother her. So she might fall ill to something, not like immensely, but she might need your assistance, spiritual assistance or healing at some point. Because I just find this cycle of nurture, be nurtured this way. So similar to Rashida's. So But I feel like she's also here to be nurtured by you too. Make sure there's no imbalances with that energy either when it comes to that. But she's going to be in a time of need, not massively where it's terminal, but she might get ill and she might need you to be around and to nurture her in that sense. So, but yeah, you guys are, it's interesting how you guys are teaching each other about the cycle of nurturing. That's what I heard too as well. So it's interesting the parallel in that. There's a lot of unspoken between you two though, Ketra. You and Jane, there's a lot of unspoken energy. But I feel like you guys read between the lines with each other. So I would address more with her, about what you feel and, all that great stuff. So, but yeah, I'm like, wow, she's a mother in a past life. But I feel like she teaches you things. I feel like she definitely, you learn from her like indirectly too. But then there's an urge to want to nurture her too. So like, yeah, so you might understand, she could help you to understand your healing capabilities actually. I feel somehow there'd be something that happens in her life that you interact with her life that'll help you to identify more of your healing and intuitive abilities. She can pull it out. So look beyond, I would say. Look beyond than just like the physical interaction. Like I said before, what's the meaning of this relationship? What is actually coming out from this relationship here, this friendship? So yeah, but you guys they keep showing like the cycle. So you guys have been in a cycle for a few past lives, actually. You know what I'm saying? So you guys have gone through many other cycles together. So it might appear like, hey, it's just a friend and all that stuff. It's like, I don't know, it's pretty deep, the friendship. But yeah, it seems like one of those that's been around for a while and will be around for some time, so. But there's some that brings you guys closer. Either she gets ill about something or she needs some sort of your support and you come in and nurture her in that sense. I just feel that kind of flipping and that kind of brings out more of your abilities. So that seems like an interesting dynamic in that sense. Okay. Let me just double check PayPal real quick. And next is Abby. But yeah, interesting, huh? Yeah. Yeah, you guys have gone through many cycles. You guys have it's like a cyclical type of relationship for some reason in your past lives. But I think, especially you need her more right now because I feel like she will bring out more of your abilities as well. And she feels very nurturing, supportive, but then I feel it's reverse of that too. So it's interesting with you guys. It's a good connection. Okay, hold on, guys. I'm just going to check for other questions here. I have next is Abby Co. Card pull. What I still want to check, make sure no one ran on PayPal either. Okay, sorry guys. Now because I have other accounts, I got to log in here. I would think like 2025, like logging into things, be like bam, bam, bam. It's always like boom, boom, boom. Okay, I knew there's questions here. Okay, Marty Scotty. Okay, question from Marty Scotty. I love the Marty Scotty. Is that your real name? I mean, I'm a Scotty right here, so I love it. Any limit you can see anything say on a job search? Let me see. On job search, any alignment you see on or timing. Okay, open to possibilities. Well, I think the problem is, Marty Scotty, you might be open too much to possibilities. Narrow it down. I don't know. I heard clerical work. Something. There's something clerical work for medical hospital or something. I saw like attachment to a medical space for some reason. I don't know why. We're doing clerical work for medical field. I don't know why I'm getting that aspect. I find. I heard October. We're in October, so you might find something probably within a few weeks. Feels left field for me, but something that like maybe a clerical work that's for like a pharmaceutical company or hospital. Like I just feel something of that nature. So yeah, I would narrow down. Like don't be too open either. But that's kind of the alignment I'm seeing, and that kind of comes about probably mid October. So I heard October, so I'm like, it is October. Okay, so yeah. So keep your possibilities more refined. But so yeah. Who's Starlight Reboot? Is that you, Marty Scotty? Is that you? But yeah, holistic field, medical field, you know, maybe somehow you connect with a field, like you start doing like some clerical work, but then it's like, okay, perfect. Yeah. But I see going in that avenue. So maybe you have to do something technical first, Marty Scotty, to get you in the field, you know? But yeah. Yeah. Cause they've shown like, that you need to help people. So that would make sense. Cause I was like, with medical, she needs to like help people, be around people that helps people, be in an environment where people are helping people. So yeah, that makes sense. This opportunity that might feel left field for you in a sense of getting into that will come, I feel like mid-October, but narrow it down. Don't be too open. Understand like what your end goal is. But yeah, and you might start clinical. You might want to go in more of a clinic. And that's kind of why I'm seeing the clerical part. Maybe you want to go in more clinical spaces to learn that aspect as you're evolving with the holistic field too, to blend it. You know what I mean? So that makes sense. But yeah, I think you're just a couple weeks away of making that connection. So yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. But you might get a connection in a hospital or some sort of, you know, medicinal way to make a connection. Right? Unless that medicinal way is medicinal marijuana. Maybe that's the medicinal part I'm seeing too. But something in that space that you'll find a connection to. The job itself might be not so you're doing the actual holistic healing, but something that like is a platform for you to get there. And perhaps you maybe even take a holistic course if you haven't already. But yeah, I think you're on the right track for that. Your guys are just saying, just make sure you understand sometimes you got to take a back door in. I don't know. That's what they were saying. It's like sometimes you got to take the back door in and realize, oh, okay, you know what I mean? So, all right. Card pull we had for Abby Co. And then we have also for Rhonda. So we'll just do Abby Co. But yes, ultimately though, long term, yes, holistic health is your avenue. But like they're saying, make sure you understand how to blend the science behind the holistic health. Okay, make sure you understand how to blend the holistic with medicinal, like blend. They're saying, don't go extreme this way. Blend it. That's gonna be something I feel for you if you take that mindset is gonna be great. Yeah, you're easy. I don't mean that. I was like, you're easy, Marty Scotty, but I'm like, it's easy as far as sense of like you're doing the right thing, like you're in the right way, right direction. As long as the key, they're saying, make sure you understand about the backdoor thing, you know. You understand, oh, I just went through the back door, but it's like an awesome environment for me. Oh, God, you know what I mean? All right. Almost like a speakeasy. I was thinking. All right. So shuffling for Abby. Okay, that's interesting. Okay. This might be good to hear. You might come into some money, Abby. Something just turned off. My other light just turned off. That's not good. You might come into some money, Abby. And so there's somebody here too that might actually want to take or cheat you out of that money. So make sure that you're not letting people know if you came across with this money that comes in your lap, or maybe it's a return on investment or unexpected money. This feels unexpected financial. It might come quickly too for you, but there's someone might be lurking around that might want to take it. So just make sure you're protecting your assets, they're saying. Okay? Because I do see an increase financially for you. And it might be a quick thing. Maybe it's a quick return investment or a quick opportunity. And so, but you need to be aware of people who might want to sucker you out of that too, or take from you. Be aware for that, protect your assets. Because it'd be a great increase in that. So that's good. I want to see why this light just turned off. Give me a second, guys. Because it's just like, I don't know if it's not charged. Because, not weird. Well, I got one light here. Hopefully I don't look like I'm too much in the shadows. But we're almost done anyways. So that's exciting, Abby Co. Okay, last but certainly not least, card pull for Rhonda. Yeah, and you don't know this right now, Abby. So that is not something that you will know, because that is future. Okay, I just had a card here. I'm just shuffling for for Rhonda. I guess it's more mystical, unless I turn this light a little bit. So weird how that went out. I've never had that light go out. It's plugged in and... What do they want to say for Rhonda? Oh, Rhonda. They're saying it's already there, Scott. Okay, so it's already here, they're saying, but I pull the Two of Wands and the Sun card. So I'm like, that's not enough. Give me more. And this guy's like, it's already there. So let me sit on the psychically about the Two of Wands, because I don't know. This is weird. You might have to decide between two things. They're saying like gold makes you happy. Like it's because they're putting like you might have to decide between two houses or two properties. I don't know why they're saying that, because I don't think that's on your trajectory right now. This is another future thing. So future things you might not know now. They're saying you might have to come into position where you're looking between two avenues or two objects. It feels like two locations or something. And they're saying find the one that lights you up, because the Sun card's all about happiness, right? Find the one that makes you most excited. You know, so. I really don't know if it feels like at home, but I don't know if that's figurative. But you'll understand this. So basically, the general message is, if you're beside two things, avenues, look beyond and say what actually makes me happy, and then you'll make your decision on this. It feels like two locations. Could be like I don't know. And again, using your intuition, Rhonda, like use your intuition to like what you feel like the decision you need to make. I also felt like, this might have to be about maybe someone passes in the family. Maybe there's a passing that happens in the family, because the Five of Cups, a little loss, you have to make a decision, or you're part of a decision-making process, and just go with what you know is true with your heart. And so some of that nature doesn't feel that heavy. It just feels like, yeah, see, there's death card. So there might be someone that passes in the family that you might have to, make a decision on and say, what would make them best happier, or what made me the best happiest, and, in this end of the spectrum, and making a decision. It felt like a location. Maybe I put them here, or I put them there. So something regarding that, it doesn't feel heavy. It just feels like focus on what you think is the best, very simple motivation of that, very simple. So Abby and Rhonda are not going to know what I'm talking about, because it's predictive. It's more about the future. And so whatever this money is, unexpected money is for you, Abby. The Ace of Pentacles is all about financial increases. So okay, good. I'm glad it makes sense, Rhonda, because I didn't know where the hell I was going with it. I'm just reading the energy. I'm like, I don't know where this is fucking going, but I'm glad it does. But yeah, Abby, so just like, and it could just be the fact that your financial well-being, it could be just maybe don't even think about just one source of money coming in. Perhaps you just like finances improve, and then you need to protect your assets. Could just be even that, just even take it that simple message too. Your finances could start to improve. Don't give it, don't splurge it, don't waste it, protect it. You know what I mean? So whatever way, like 2026, if there's this financial increase. So, which is good. Ain't nobody gonna hate on that, right? So, all right, guys. That concludes this live show. What are my closing final thoughts here as my lights, half of my lights are dead. Instead of Jerry's final thoughts, I got Scott's final thoughts. Like I said at the beginning, sometimes I love to be philosophical and go into like the depths and mechanics of consciousness and all that stuff. And then today it's just about, hey, you know what? You need a simple pep talk. Stand in your voice. You don't have to be patient to people who are closed-minded. You don't have to be patient to people that are mistreating you. You don't have to be patient to those things. It's okay to stand up and say, no, I'm not tolerating this, and move forward. That's standing up. That's taking the high road in a sense. High road is in avoidance mode. And so it's time to do that and preserve the patience and nurturing for yourself. And those people you're being patient to, say, are they showing me any type of patience or love or care? No. Right? Especially some random broad on the internet. Like, okay? Or some random dude on the internet, or who are these people that you have to be, just someone go fuck off. I tell people all the time, I'm love and light and little go fuck yourself. There's a t-shirt out there. And I said, everyone says, Scott, that's your t-shirt. I'm like, exactly. Because sometimes the most spiritual thing you could say to someone is fuck off. Because why? You're setting your boundary and you're letting them know that that's not tolerated. I don't tolerate that. And it gives them an opportunity to think, maybe I shouldn't be this way. And it might not happen the first time. Maybe after the 10 fuck off someone tells them, maybe they start saying, maybe they have a point. Or maybe it takes them 100 people saying fuck off. But if there's no one telling them to go fuck off, how are they going to learn? They just think their behavior is okay. That they can manipulate. So stand up for yourselves, use your voice, and put all that patience and nurturing into the self. So then you understand the balance of how you can contribute to the collective and to those around you with balance, with ease. And you understand the ebb and flow of reality. Okay, I'm gonna do a little flashback video real quick. I don't know. The sound may not be good, but might get a ding of monetization. But I'm not here for monetization, anyways. But here's a flashback to me when I was in Coming to America. Let's see if you could spot me out.
They got the Big Mac. I got the Big Mick. We both got 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, and onions. But they use a sesame seed bun. My buns have no seeds.
Do you see that little boy with that bowl haircut? And that was me. I was in Coming to America, and what was that, 1987 or something? I think I was 4 or 5 years old. That was me. A little flashback. I've been finding little videos to import into my streaming software. Because my mom's like, play this song, play that song. So I'm like, oh, I found that. I'm sure people didn't see I was in Coming to America with that bowl haircut. Anyways, guys, you guys are amazing. If you missed out last night's episode of LOL, check it out. Otherwise, I will be here next week too. And if I decide I can't do next week, I will let you guys know. But I will be here for shizzle. Let me know any type of in the comment sections, not in the chat, because I don't get to see the live chat after the session. So leave the comment sections any ideas of topics you want me to discuss, things you want to hear about, things you want some inspiration on. So put that in the comment section, and it helps also the algorithms if you like it and comment and all that stuff. It helps my channel to have flow. So I'm going to ask you guys if you could do that in return. That'd be wonderful. Thank you very much. But I like to know what you guys want to hear me talk about. Sometimes I feel like I've talked about every topic. But I always do collective reads, but you kind of put in the comments what you would like for me to discuss or things you want to hear about. I'd love to hear your feedback and deliver to what you guys want to have discussions about. Okay. You guys are amazing. I hope you all are going to enjoy the rest of your evening. I sure will. I'm going to close out with the culture lyric video. But remember, guys, you're all the gods and goddesses of your own myth. And yes, if you want to book a personal session, scottcruzpm.com. I've ran the commercial halfway through because I usually do it at the end. But personal one-on-one readings, again, they're more detailed when I'm sitting with you face-to-face versus distant with one question on a live show. I like to get in there with the nitty-gritty. And I also have mediumship sessions, connect with those who've crossed over. I'm diving deeper into my mediumship abilities. I want to upgrade them now. So I'm working on that. So because I've been doing it so long, like I need to change. I want to take that to the next level, my mediumship abilities. And so doesn't mean I'm not good. It means I always want more. I want to do better, right? And so, and I also have Intuition Builder course. You want to tap into your own abilities or understand what's going on, like Rashida with Dream Space and how to interpret dreams and all that great stuff. An array of topics you can discuss in a one-on-one session. We go into depth too. So it's scottcruzpm.com. And I will leave you with my song Culture, the full song. It's in the beginning, but the full song with the lyric video so you guys can chat in the room. And I will see you guys next week. And remember, guys, you are all the gods and goddesses of your own myth. What do you want to create? Much love. I love you all. You all are amazing and you're rocking it. Rock out to the song. Good night, guys.
We gotta sink this ship Space Machine.